November 26th, 2015. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 87 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of our American listeners.
Yeah, well, Thanksgiving should be an international holiday.
Well, do you remember that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Robin, who's from Canada on the show, she said, she's saying, oh, well, real Thanksgiving has already happened.
Right.
Because Canadian Thanksgiving is in October, right?
Right. But, you know, every country should have Thanksgiving. It's the best holiday.
It is very good, yeah, because you don't have to buy gifts for anybody. It's just getting together and eating.
Just getting together with your family, have a meal, sit down on the couch and watch football.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what could be better? And every country could do that. You know, some people would watch soccer, of course.
Right, of course, sure.
But, you know, whatever their thing is, whatever gets them going sports-wise, you have a lot of that on TV.
Yeah.
You have a couple of shows, TV shows that are popular. And, of course, the Twilight Zone Marathon.
That's right,
In
yes,
every country that goes well.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And then you eat a lot.
Yeah. Oh, well, I agree with you. Well, you know, speaking of sports, let's talk about daily fantasy sports. You anxious to do that?
Yeah, we've never talked about that.
I'll tell you, really, I am sick of talking about it. And the only reason I bring it up is because we're a gambling podcast and things just keep happening with it, right?
Yeah, it's an ongoing story.
But, you know, it's funny because they say that they're not gambling and they're basically.
I would love to hear a definition.
Well, it's skill-based. That's what they're saying, right?
That's it. So gambling is not skill-based.
That's right.
That's what they're saying.
If something is skill-based, it's not gambling, is what they're saying. Right?
Okay.
If something is skill-based, it's not gambling.
All right.
Okay.
So eating like a 3-week-old burrito that you found in the back seat of your car stuffed in the cushion, and just going ahead and eating that, says there's no skill in that, just eating.
No, I would say
that's not a gamble.
I would say that the skill in that is not eating it.
Yeah.
You have a skill for not eating old food.
Okay.
So it's not gambling.
So it's not gambling. There's no gamble.
That's right.
Might as well eat it.
And then see other people who might also be eating that burrito are thinking, oh, I think that's the right thing to do. They've just got very poor skill for that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And so they eat it. Again, it's not a gamble. It's just their skill is so poor, they don't realize they're going to get sick.
Oh, this is I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave your house, drive home, and try and eat the burrito in the back of my car. And I don't know whether to eat it or not now.
Well, just call me when you get home, and I want to see what happens. Daily fantasy sports is now illegal in New York and some other states. And again, we say that somehow it's going to come crashing down. But I get a kick out of this because DraftKings and FanDuel have both applied for gambling licenses in the UK. DraftKings already has their license, and FanDuel has applied for one.
But it's not gambling.
It's not gambling.
You need a gambling license.
Yeah, here's what they're saying. They're saying it's not gambling. It's just that games of skill are looked at differently by regulators in different jurisdictions around the world. That's a quote from, I think it was from FanDuel. But yeah, there you go.
Okay, so the head of FanDuel and the head of DraftKings must be idiots.
Or they're geniuses. Yeah. Because they know it's gambling, right?
Yeah,
they just can't admit it, right? They want to stay in business. Yeah.
Is Bill Clinton the head of one of those?
I don't know. That's a good question. It depends on what the definition of is.
Yeah, it depends on what is.
Yeah. It's funny because we got an email from listener Cody. Now, he and a couple of friends took this real seriously this last NBA season, basketball season, right?
Well,
this daily fantasy
how
sports.
People would, right? You're thinking this is a way, we're knowledgeable, we can make some money, we have skill.
Exactly. And these guys, they took it very seriously, right? I mean, they used spreadsheets and analysis. They did research. They even paid for research because they had day jobs, right? But they
wanted to be fully cognizant of what's going on.
Yeah.
So they paid to get research.
And he said that it was the most addictive form of gambling that he's ever been involved with. Because, especially during basketball, I mean, leading up to tip-off, he's, doing the final research, finding out, who's going to get scratched or, stuff like that. Because if you have a player who's suddenly not playing that night.
Right, you're screwed.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So he was doing this constantly. And let me read to you from this email here. He says, I represent 3 very bright individuals who spent a year chasing the dream. Thousands upon thousands of dollars wagered. None of us has cashed out any significant prizes. We've all been one player away from cashing for thousands, but never hit it big. There are sharks out there that have much more know-how and inside info than we do, and that's who the regular Joes are up against. What started out as fun, like what they portray on the commercials, ends up being an absolutely futile, time-wasting money pit. I quit playing a couple of weeks ago, and life is so much better. It was an obsession with them to the point where it was like ruining his life.
Well, and the thing about it is they were going about it correctly. See, the smart thing to do would be to get 3 or 4 guys so you don't have to do a ton of research yourself.
Yeah.
You have 3 or 4 guys working together, researching things. You pool your money. You get in big pools of money so that you can win big, supposedly, right?
Right.
And I mean, that they went about it the right way. The problem is, and reading his email, it seems like even doing, say, a third of the work, it was still a ton of work and there's no cash out. So you're putting a ton of energy into something that's not getting you anywhere.
Right.
And losing money, as a matter of fact.
And the people who are winning are a small percentage of the players. They're ones who are devoting their entire time to
that's
this,
their job.
Or they're cheating in some way.
Right.
And I'm not, I have no proof of that, but that's a possibility.
They have a lot of inside information.
Inside information, there
if
you go.
You worked in the NBA, maybe you're not a coach or a player, but let's say you work in the NBA in some capacity and you have knowledge of, so-and-so is not feeling all that well today and he may not play as many minutes or, just small information like that. Like if Seth Curry is got a little bug that the public isn't aware of, and he's going to play, but it's going to be like, limited minutes or he's just not up to par. If you knew that and you don't put Seth Curry on your team, you're at a huge advantage,
Yeah, right.
Or just, some other team, something about the defense about some teams not going to be as good. So you can pick a guy on the other team who might score a lot. Inside information is so huge in this.
Yeah, well, this is one of the 2 reasons that we say this is all going to come crashing down. The number one reason is it might just get shut down by the government.
Right.
Okay. Or it's going to collapse on itself because all these regular people are going to get tired of losing and say, hey, this is a waste of time and money. I'm done.
Right. And without their money, there's nothing to be won.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Daily fantasy sports. Let's not talk about certainly the rest of this show.
Okay. Right? Yeah. That would we just go a week without talking about
I know. So we do have some other news though. Remember that guy, Christian Lusardi, the guy who flushed counterfeit tournament poker chips down the toilet. The tournament was taking place at the Borgata. He flushed the chips down at Harrah's, and he got caught. Well, he pleaded guilty, and now he's got 5 years in prison.
Well, I hope that was worth it.
Yep, and he's got to pay almost $500,000 to the Borgata for the revenue it lost when it had to cancel the tournament, and just under $10,000 to Harrah's for damaging its plumbing.
I'm surprised that it's $10,000.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be more because this is.
It's a big casino.
It's a big casino, right?
Yeah.
One bit of plumbing affects a lot of the other plumbing.
Yeah, a lot of other
So,
plumbing. Yeah, when we go there again and we stay there, we stay at Harrah's. If we do. I'm going to check out that plumbing because it must be cheap.
What do you plan on flushing?
Well, you know what I'm going to flush.
I guess I do. What about, let me ask you this. What else are you going to flush?
The burrito in the back of my car.
How about like Keno tickets?
Ooh,
just, get a big ball of them, right? And get it all, just throw them down there.
I'm going to go around to all the casinos and collect those "You've Got a Problem" gambling flyers and try and flush them down the toilet.
Okay. When the fun flushes.
When the fun flushes.
Yeah.
Where will you be?
That's right. Hey, so now we can officially thank listener Kevin because at the beginning of the NFL season, he bought a ticket for us, a sports wager for us. Yeah. He bet that the Dallas Cowboys would win fewer than 9.5 games on the season. The over-under was 9.5 games.
I'm surprised 9.5. I know Dallas is a decent team, but that means they got to win 10 to get to the over.
Right.
Maybe 10-6. Boy, I would have thought the over-under would have been 9 or 8.5.
Well, Kevin did this, again, at the beginning of the season before Romo got hurt.
Yeah.
And sure enough, at the end of week 10, when they had lost their 7th consecutive game, it was now mathematically impossible for them to win more than 9 games. So now this ticket that he bought for us is a winner, and we want to thank him for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you know what? I hope, Kevin, I mean, it'd be funny if now Romo's back. They win every game.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if they just ran the table the rest of the season? Yeah. We can't actually, I assume we cannot cash the ticket in until the season ends, because the date on the ticket actually says January 3rd. 2016, right? So it's got to be at the end of the season. Even though it's mathematically impossible. Obviously, that it's easier.
Well, they
for
probably
them
haven't set their computers yet.
Yeah, right. Because a lot of those other bets are still pending, right? But anyway, thank you very much for that, Kevin. That was great. It was great meeting you at VIMF as well.
Yes.
We got an email from listener Rick, who saw a bet at a craps table that he'd never seen before and wondered if we had seen it. Somebody at the table made a $10 Super Aces bet. Have you ever heard of anything like this?
I have never heard of Super Aces.
So Rick was watching where on the layout the dealer put this bet when it was made. And essentially what it was a $5 wager on aces and then a $5 on horn high aces.
Yeah, so it's like, if you give a $5 horn high aces, you've got $2 on aces, $1 on the 3, $1 on the 12, $1 on the 11.
Yeah.
So he basically did a horn high aces, and then the extra $5 went all on aces. So he's got $7 on aces.
Yeah.
So I guess you could do a Super Aces, a Super 12.
Yeah, a Super 11, anything like that. Yeah. I had never heard about it, and it didn't sound like it was a separate spot on the table. For it.
No.
But I wonder if we just said, let's try this next time we go out. Say, give me a $10 Super Aces. Let's see if the dealers, at least up at Harris, Southern California, know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to look at you like, what? I've never heard that.
I'd never heard
it,
yeah. But, maybe it's out there and it's just something.
You know what? We'll ask one of the more seasoned dealers.
Yes.
Like Graham or somebody who, knows the game real well. Yeah. And we'll just say, give me a $10 Super Aces. We'll see what he does.
And let us know if any listeners out there have heard of it before. I did a quick, internet search and I couldn't find anything on it. So
it may just be something that the guy who bet it bets.
That could be too, just at that casino. That's what they started calling it. Oh, there's Carl.
Yeah, with his Super Aces.
Yeah, that's what he calls
Vincent.
it. That's Vincent.
That's Vincent with his Super Aces.
Our friend Vincent, listener Vincent, yeah. Speaking of getting emails and tweets and all sorts of things, I respond to everybody who writes into us. If I have not responded, please let me know, because I did have some trouble with our email count recently, and then there were other cases where it was easily my fault that I just, read an email like on my phone and then I forgot about it or something. Right. So if you're sitting out there and it's like, oh, Mike and Mark, a couple of snobs, it's slipped by, and I'm sure it's my fault.
It's either a technology problem or a Mark problem. Yeah. I mean, they're one and the same.
A technology problem or a Mark problem. That's right. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the cost of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. All right, let's jump to the voicemail hotline. Remember, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS.
951-2-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First up is Rick.
Hey, guys, this is Rick from Jersey calling. I was thinking about your trip that you wanted to plan from going to AC and also to Connecticut. Here's a thought. Fly into Connecticut. You could either fly into Providence or Boston, short ride for both, down to the casino, and then get your Harrah's host to fly you from Providence down to Atlantic City and back. And this way you'll be able to do both of them and get your Harrah's to pick up the flight from Providence to AC. Anyway, it's just a thought. Maybe it'll work, maybe it wouldn't work, but I'm sure a lot of listeners would love to have you come out east and play with you a little bit. So sounds good. Thanks a lot, and great podcast. Just listen to it.
How about this? How about instead we get Caesars to pay for our flight from here to Atlantic City?
Which they would easily do.
Yeah, and then we just pick up the flight between AC and going up to Connecticut, whether it's Rhode Island or whatever.
Yeah, and then what are you going to get? You're going to fly back from
Yeah,
Connecticut to here.
Well, what I'm saying is, if we're going to have Caesars pay for one leg, it's better to have them pay for the big one to AC than just from Rhode Island to AC and back.
But they may want you to go from here to Atlantic City back here. Then we need a round trip ticket from AC to Connecticut.
No, Mike. We have Caesars pay for us to go from here to Atlantic City and back, and then just on our own dime, and we don't even say anything to Caesars.
Right.
We fly from AC to Rhode Island and Rhode Island back.
That's what I'm saying. We need a round trip ticket. We have to buy a round trip ticket from AC to Rhode Island.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wonder what that costs.
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. But it's not a bad idea if we could swing it. Yeah.
The drive's probably too long.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't want it, especially if we were only there for a little while. I mean, we could do the drive, but I wouldn't want to.
It's our time is our issue.
Yes. Yeah.
But we definitely need to do that.
I know.
You know, I've never been. I'd like to see Connecticut.
I know. I just can't see it happening anytime soon. It's going to be. It's always going to be something we'll talk about. We'll get there eventually. I know we will.
Well, I will.
Yeah, you will for sure.
I will.
I hope to.
Yeah,
you're definitely going to get there. All right. Let's hear from Wendell.
What's up, guys? This is Wendell from Texas. I was part of the DDB podcast crew that we all came up from Denton. And I really enjoyed y'all's show at BIMP, and I'm looking forward to next year. And I was going to tell you, I went down to the craps table beginner scenario y'all were doing on that Friday and Saturday morning. And I still need more practice with the craps. So, I guess maybe next year, I even told Tony from Vice Lounge, I just need to go through the motions and actually just start playing craps, and I'll think I'll catch it a lot quicker. So anyway, man, y'all keep up the good work. I always look forward to y'all's podcast, and I'll see you at BIP next year.
Yeah, next year what we should do is, instead of having just like a class, where we're explaining the game, let's try to coordinate with like Golden Gate, make sure they have a table open, like a full table.
Right.
And we'll just play. And so people just have hands-on playing experience. And if they've never played before, we can still teach them, but it'll all be hands-on because it really does make a difference. It's the best way to learn. Yeah.
But let's do this. Wendell, please, when we're there, just say, hey, Mark and Mike, what are you guys doing, Saturday at 3 a.m. or Sunday morning or whatever? And we'll all just get together like we did that Sunday night.
Yeah.
And go casino hopping and play craps at different places. And then, then you'll really learn.
That's a good idea, except for the 3 a.m. part. I'll just throw that in here. But what we should do, if the schedule is kind of the same next year, like it was this year, after VIMP is over, it's like, okay, everybody, we're having a Sunday night craps crawl on the Strip or downtown or wherever. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. See, that's what we need to do.
Because we had a blast.
Why is 3 a.m. a problem?
I need to even say it.
Becky was playing video poker late at night and eating hamburgers, and you couldn't even remember the cab ride.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to. What do you want me to say?
You need to drink less and focus on craps. Or drink more and focus more on craps.
All right, maybe just drink energy drink. No, I'm not going to. This isn't even funny.
You're going to have a Captain Morgan and some energy drink mixed together.
Like a Captain Morgan and a Rockstar.
Yeah, Captain Morgan and Rockstar. I don't know. Is there a name for that instead of
I'm sure there is. I've never done it because I've always been scared. Let's just go to the next call.
All right.
What's up, fellas? This is Ryan. I just wanted to share a quick story about my first experience playing Baccarat. Hope I said that right. I played the easy version at San Manuel Casino in Highland, California. Went there randomly with a buddy of mine to play. The day before, we just decided, we try Baccarat for the first time. Checked out the odds. I already knew that had a really good percentage, The house edge wasn't very much, but anyway, the tables were packed, and they only had $25 tables, which is a lot more than I typically bet. I'm normally a $5 craps table player. Maybe I'll let it build up to like $50, $75 on the table at the most. So 25 a hand at Baccarat is pretty, on a game that fast, is quite a bit. But bought in just for 200. And I was just like, hey, let me learn the game. Let's see how it goes. And it went real well. A lot of what we did was I would make two decisions, 2 bets in a row, and then I let my buddy make 2 decisions, and we're sitting side by side, putting the bets down. We did that, and about 30 minutes into it, we just played one shoe. He was up 5+, and I was up about 350. We walked out of there, and it all went well. So, I think I'm going to convert from craps over to easy baccarat for a while, see how that goes, because everything went well. And I don't understand why the game they say it's not a loud game or it has to be like a very quiet game. I don't understand that. There's some suspense to it if you can do the math real quick. Why can't you pump your fist up in the air if you win $100 in the blink of an eye? What's the big deal, Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, so, let's get to that last point first. I think, every game has its own kind of culture surrounding it and etiquette.
Right, and it's evolved over time, I think.
I would guess that when it comes to Baccarat, one of the reasons that they kind of discourage being real loud is that, some people are betting player, some people are betting banker.
Right.
So, when you win, if the opposite person's going to lose, and so maybe there's the etiquette is just, be quiet, you won.
Right. It's not like the dealer busting in blackjack and you all win. Everyone left wins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, you win, but the guy next to you could have lost.
Yeah. But, it's funny how stuff evolves like that. I remember a few years back, I was playing poker. I was just in the poker room out here at Verona. And they've got a bad beat jackpot where any aces full house beaten by 4 of a kind wins. It's actually kind of it pays off fairly often. Some bad beats in casinos, you have to have like aces full of jacks beaten or something like that.
Right.
But this was just aces full anything beaten. Anyway, we were at the table, and what happens is the person who loses the hand, like aces full of whatever, they get like 50% of the jackpot, right? And then the person who beat them gets like 25%, and then
the table splits.
The rest is split amongst everybody at the table, right? So we were playing out there once, and I can't remember all the specifics, but the hand came up in such a way that it was a potential jackpot winner. And the players' cards were already up. I think one of the players was all in. And so we could see what was happening and what needed to come up, right?
Right.
And so the river card was the card that was remaining to come up. And I said, come on, like real loud, right?
Yeah.
And oh man, the dealer, the players, they looked at me like I had done the worst thing in the world.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, hey, we don't act like that in the poker room. And I was kind of taken aback because I'm thinking, hey, we're all in this together now. It's one of those rare cases where, we all want this. Everybody wants it.
Everyone
the dealer wants it, right? Everybody wants it. Oh, but no, they shot me the evil eye. Oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? And so I just kind of, curled up.
And what happened?
Well, we didn't win the jackpot either.
Yeah, they blamed you. Oh, it's his fault.
That could have been it too. There could have been some to that. But, a lot of that kind of stuff evolves. Obviously, you're the craps table, everybody's cheering. But then again, part of the etiquette is if you're playing the don't,
right?
The etiquette is to be quiet. And maybe that's part of it with Baccarat too, because even though it's not exactly the same as people betting the pass and betting the don't.
Right.
There are people betting against each other, for lack of a better
betting
word.
differently, really.
Differently
they're not betting
other,
against each other. They're betting differently.
They're betting differently, yeah.
So, but I don't know. If you've gambled enough, if it's not your first time gambling, if you've gambled enough, you realize some people win, some people lose.
Yeah.
Be happy when you win and, be respectful. I mean, I wouldn't get in another guy's face and say, you lost, you're a loser.
That's right.
I'm winner.
That's right. Player, you're the player.
But, you can cheer. I never get mad when someone cheers.
No, but you see, you and I have not played a lot of Baccarat. And I would imagine a table like an easy Baccarat table, the etiquette would be a little freer.
A little looser.
Right.
Yeah,
if you were in a high stakes Baccarat area, that's something else.
Yeah.
But, oh well, anyway.
Well, Baccarat, we'll see if that works out for Ryan.
We have a follow-up call. You want to hear it?
Okay,
yeah, here we go. Yeah.
What's up, fellas? This is Ryan once again, giving you guys a call because I recently had my second go-around playing easy Baccarat. This time was at Gold Coast, Las Vegas. And my first time was the $25 table was over at San Manuel. This time it was $10. And I ended up sitting down, and I had a lot of expenses planned the next day, non-gambling stuff. So I only, I didn't even want to gamble originally, but you know how that is. You get that itch and you sit down. So I sat down with 100, telling myself, hey, if I'm only betting $10 a hand and I can turn this into 170 or so, I should be happy with that type of return. So I should have stuck to my original plan because, I was able to work my stack up to $210 at the most. I will say this: I don't recommend anyone to play by themselves if they're not too familiar with the game, because there's a lot of mistakes that are made, and there are quite a few on this one. Some of them pretty bad, like the entire table getting paid. She's dealer looked at it completely wrong. It was player, and she's called banker, and right when she punched it in after paying everyone, once she punched it on the computer, then it hit her in the head, which was like, oh. And, well, we all didn't say nothing, just looked at each other. Anyway, as far as Easy Baccarat, man, what's funny is with craps, how, when people are playing the don't pass, you kind of give them the evil eye. But with this game, even if you're betting opposite each other, there's none of that. I just find that interesting. Anyway, good luck to you guys next time you guys play. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
So did he lose or win on that?
It kind of sounded, I mean, he said he got it up to 210, but it kind of sounded like he lost it all, ultimately. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's what it kind of sounded like. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. That's my point. You can have good luck one time, and the next time you're guessing all wrong. Because, the thing I don't like about Baccarat, it's not skill-based.
It's not?
It's not skill-based.
Okay.
Because what's the skill? You pick bank or player.
Yeah.
I know there's some guy there sitting next to you that's like 128 years old, and he's got a pencil that's about like 1.5 centimeters, and he's like trying to write on this little pad.
And he's keeping
track of bank player, like he knows some secret sequence to the cards.
Yeah.
They shuffle them and then they reshuffle them, and some of them have shuffle machines that are constantly shuffling them.
Yeah.
So how you're finding a sequence, I have no idea. But, you guess bank player.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're guessing well. It's like red, black on roulette, right?
Yeah. And if you really want to say, hey, what you should do, you should just bet banker every time because it's got a lower house edge.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what you should do. But it's funny when he's talking, it's kind of a follow-up to talking about etiquette there. There's no evil eye exchange between the two. Yeah, because a lot of people are betting player and are betting banker, whereas at a craps table, very few people are betting the don't.
Right.
You could go a whole session and not see anybody betting the don't.
Many times we've been on a table for hours and there's never been a don't player. Yeah, so. Well, the thing is, too, with Baccarat, for me anyway, I just find it kind of boring.
Yeah, me too.
And I kind of like to play a game that I'm interested in, yeah, you can sit there and you could have good luck. It's like Pai Gow. I mean, we played tons of Pai Gow.
Yeah.
But it is ultimately kind of boring.
It was slow and boring, yeah. I mean, it's whatever you like to do. The nice thing about Baccarat is it does have a low house edge, right? It's, you bet on the banker, it's a lower house edge than the pass line and craps.
Right.
And, you can have a good time just, socializing, right? People gamble for all sorts of different reasons. But, if everybody's suddenly betting on the banker and the banker is on a run,
right.
It can be as exciting as any other kind of gambling.
I guess.
So, yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah.
And another thing about Baccarat, it's not, there's no big side bet.
Well,
I mean, some of them do have.
Some of them do. There's the tie side bet. Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you here, Mike, because a lot of Baccarat games do have significant side bets here, where you add up the total of the 4 cards, yours and the bankers,
but
do
they come up that often? I mean,
how often do side bets come up anyway, right? They try to make them attractive, by having long odds, so maybe they don't come up that often, but they have side bets.
I guess. We really haven't played a lot of Baccarat over the years.
Very little.
I mean, we played some, but
very little.
I'd rather play Nines Up.
Yeah, Nines Up.
Yeah, Nines Up was a funner game than Baccarat.
I enjoyed that game. Nines Up, for listeners who don't know, I think we actually talked about it on one episode.
Probably.
You won't find that in the casino anymore. I don't know anybody who deals it anymore.
But that was a more interesting game to me.
Yeah, it was a little faster too.
Yeah, it was faster. And, and you're not really against. It's not. Well, Nines Up. You don't have to make a decision, banker player.
It was like a cross between Baccarat and Pai Gow poker.
Right.
It was sort of a hybrid between the two, right? Because you were playing against the dealer. Every player was playing against the dealer, but you were trying to get a total of a 9 or pairs, and you had 2 hands. So
kind of like Baccarat.
Yeah. Okay, one final call from Todd.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Todd Goddess calling from Minnesota. Just wanted to give you a few gambling notes from the anniversary trip that Amanda and I took to Vegas last weekend. For bad news, my last bastion of low-limit 3-2 blackjack on the strip is gone. The video blackjack machines at the MGM properties are no longer 3-2. They're all 6-5, except at Monte Carlo it was actually even money. I saw some machines that also showed blackjack pays 2 for 1, but yeah, they're not filling me with that crap. But for good news, the Tropicana loss rebate for new players is still active. I know there was some question whether it would still be there with Penn National taking over. I guess I'm not sure how far along that purchase is, but we both did sign up for new cards. Basically, your slot or video poker losses up to $200 for the first 24 hours are rebated. You get half of it the next day and the other half a month later. It was interesting that you can't use your free play in any of their full pay machines. There's actually a little placard next to the buy-in slot that says free play cannot be used on this machine. So I guess that's how they get you there. But still, Tropicana had several, I'll call them playable if you're thirsty, video poker games. So that was all right. Also, the win cards that we've talked about a couple of times at Mandalay Bay with the $30 in free play, that's still there. Actually came out ahead this trip with their free play. I think I cashed out $60 real dollars. So that was nice. Downtown, yeah, your tip for the Golden Gate was great. Thanks for that. The dealers were great. The pit boss was friendly. In fact, the dealer actually asked me while I was buying in if I wanted a pass line bet. I don't think I've ever had a dealer ask me that before. You know, when the 15 or 30 seconds where they're counting out your money and they've got your chips ready, but they can't slide them to you because, you know, the pit boss has to okay it. He actually asked me if I wanted a pass line bet because it was a come out roll and I might miss it if I had to wait. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that should actually happen at any craps table you go to. It's too bad that Todd hasn't had this happen before, because a good dealer will ask, even if it's not the come out roll.
Right.
Say, do you want some action out of this?
Right. They'll just always say, what's your action?
Yeah, what do you
want?
Yeah. And you can always say, no, oh, that's okay, just, change only. But every craps dealer, it's good for the casino. You get more money out there. So,
sure.
Do you want anything out of this? Oh, sure. Place the 6 and 8 for $6 each, or, whatever. Or make a pass line bet.
You don't do that.
No, of course
you
not.
You ask for a two-way world. And the $10 straight up ace deuces, give me a quarter on the line.
Yeah, well, we could talk about this all night, but of course you're right. But yeah, that should happen all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad that happened to Todd at our favorite Golden Gate.
Yep.
Amanda and I actually had our biggest craps wins of the weekend that session, so that was great. Also, we found a video poker progressive machine at California. It was a nickel machine. Paying $722 for Royal Flush in nickels. I thought that was incredible. It was a 7-5 bonus machine, so it was well into positive EV. I wish I'd played that machine harder.
Yeah, I went through the numbers. That's about 104% return on that. So, yeah, that's pretty good.
That's very good.
Or a nickel machine,
very good. It'd be great if it paid nickels.
It just came out like
the old machines.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know. There's just something about getting a bunch of nickels.
I don't want to get $722 at nickels.
I do. I'd love to carry, you have to, your thing's filling up and you're trying to get it in the buckets and then carry the buckets.
All right. Remind me, maybe I'll come up with some kind of nice surprise for you next time we go to Vegas.
My birthday. Here's $722 in nickels.
But anyway, here's my question. I was at a $5 craps table at Excalibur. I had a $5 pass line bet with odds and a $5 come bet, which had already moved up to the 8, also with $10 odds on top of it. The shooter made her point, so the dealer paid all the pass line bets, flipped over the puck, and the next come out roll was a 7. So again, the dealer, she paid all the pass line bets that were winners, and I noticed she didn't do anything with my come bet. And so I waited a few seconds to see if she was going to catch it, and she didn't do anything. So once I was sure she wasn't going to do anything, I pointed and I said, I need those odds back. And she looked down, she saw the come bet, and was like, oh gosh, so she handed me the $10 in odds and took the flat bet. I was in the mode of, the dealer's made a mistake, I should correct it. But as I thought about it more, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut since I was essentially pointing out a losing bet that she had missed. So, moral quandary aside, what would you have done? Anyway, we had a great trip. I came out ahead for the weekend. Not enough to buy the 8-foot craps table I've been eyeing, but hey, maybe Santa Claus listens to your show. Hint, hint. Anyway, thanks again, guys. Love your podcast. Later.
Okay, let's kind of give some background here for people who might not be too familiar with how come bets work. But basically, you have come bets go up in these numbers, right? And then the shooter makes his or her point, and now it's the come out roll again. Well, those come bets are active. Right, so they can still win or lose.
The flat bet is active.
That's right.
Not
flat
the
bet,
odds.
Right, the flat bet is active, and then the odds are automatically off, just like place bets are off.
Yeah. It's basically the way I think about it is, say you went up on a 6, your come bet's on a 6. That's a game where 6 is going to be a winner and 7 is going to be a loser.
Right.
So once on the come out roll that 7 hits, that game lost. Because that game is still going on.
That game's still going on, right.
That part of the game is different than the part of the game where you made your pass line bet.
Yeah, but meanwhile, everybody on the pass line wants a 7 on that come out roll.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, and you may too, because you probably have a pass line bet.
So that's why the rules in all craps games that I've ever been in is that the odds are off on your come bets on the come out roll.
Unless you specifically ask for them to be working.
Right, and then you can.
And then you can.
Yeah. So anyway, what happened in Todd's case was a 7 was rolled on the come out roll. So that come bet that he had up there, I think he said it was on an 8, that bet lost. Okay. And what the dealer should have done was collected the flat bet, the losing bet, and then given Todd his odds back.
Because they weren't working. So that's what should have happened.
Right. And that's what he told her. Okay.
And
go
this
ahead and
will
do that.
happen a lot.
Let me ask you this, Mike. And I would say, tell me if you agree with me, that forgetting to collect losing come bets on the come out roll is the most common mistake that I've ever seen at a craps table.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Especially if you're on a table with a lot of people who do not make come bets and make place bets.
Yes.
So out at Harrah's, Southern California, I shouldn't probably say this.
Go ahead.
But the dealers there, because the vast majority of people are making place bets, they will forget come bets every once in a while.
Yep.
And especially if there's a lot of other action going on. They're busy paying the line. They're looking at somebody who made, a prop bet on the come out, who won or lost or whatever. And they forget about those come bets a lot.
Yep.
So now morally.
Well, here, let me just answer the question because I'm the come better. I never point it out.
Yeah.
So judge me however you like. Yeah. We've talked about this before. If I'm, given too much change at the grocery store, I'll point that out. I look at that differently from gambling at a casino.
Right.
But if they forget to collect my come bets, I don't say anything.
Right.
In the long run, that's good for me. Now, anything can happen in the short one. There have been plenty of times where the bet stayed up there, and then the guy established a new point and immediately 7'd out.
Yeah, and if you would have been better off.
I would have been better off if they'd given me my odds back, right? So it can hurt you in the short run.
Right.
But in the long run, it's...
Yeah, those are going to hit every once in a while. They're going to hit, and you're going to win a bet that you wouldn't have had up there otherwise. Yeah, I'm like you. I hate to say this, but I think of it differently than I do. Like, I would never, I've driven back to a store when I realized I got too much change to give them money, right? I'm not going to run back to the casino later and say, hey, I think you forgot one of my come bets.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this a lot. The fact that, it's kind of like us against them. It's like if you do point something out, does that hurt the dealer? Suddenly he's been caught in a mistake or, whatever. For whatever reason, this has happened to me a lot, I never call attention to it.
I think the best thing is do what you feel comfortable with. Seriously,
that's true.
If it bothers you so much that, maybe that's going to stay up there and you might win something you didn't deserve, point it out by all means.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. I would be sure, even though I do it my way, which is, ethically questionable.
Right. But if you're okay with that, then that's fine. I mean, you're going to go to hell, Mark, but
I understand. I've expected that a long time ago. That's why I do it. I knew I'm going to hell anyway.
We actually had a discussion last week as we were driving to the casino about, what's going to happen when the rapture comes to craps players. And Mark said they're all going to hell.
No, I said none of them. The rapture's going to come and everybody at the craps table is still going to be there.
Yeah.
The game's still going. We're still here.
Going on. Nobody wants to leave. They're in the middle of a hot roll. I'm not leaving.
They're not ascending, my friends. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank a couple of listeners for PayPal donations. Number one, from Robert. He said, great meeting you at VIMP. Keep up the good work on the show. Thanks very much, Robert. And then also from Michael, a.k.a. Baccarat Guy, a.k.a. the co-founder of TravelZork. Thanks very much for those PayPal donations. And in fact, we just ordered brand new equipment. It's supposed to come this Thanksgiving weekend. I've been tracking it on UPS. So hopefully on the next show, we'll have new equipment if I can get it hooked up.
We'll sound smarter.
Wow. The equipment wasn't that expensive, Mike.
Okay,
all right.
Just tell you can't correct our inadequacies.
No. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonThat.com, and click on the link at the top that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonThat. We always tweet when we're in a casino or on our way to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Mike, Thanksgiving?
Yep, it's Thanksgiving. This is actually, we're
recording the night before.
The night before, and you're going to release it on Thanksgiving. And I really want to say this. There's two very important people that make this podcast go more than anyone else, and we really need to thank them, especially on Thanksgiving, and that's your wife and my wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sherry and Lynn put up with all this. They put up with crazy talk.
Yep.
They actually at times endorse some crazy talk,
yeah,
which is, amazing.
Hey, they put up with you and me going to the casino every single week and staying out late.
Yes. Yeah. And that, I don't know how I could ever thank my wife, let alone yours, because, it wouldn't be as much fun going on my own.
Yeah.
So, but thanks to them, because they're wonderful wives.
Ladies.
We got very lucky.
Mm-hmm,
we got very lucky.
Yeah, because we're not that great.
No, and our lives could have been a lot worse. And our children.
Yeah, they're great too.
The four of them who put up with it too, to a certain extent.
Yep.
So that's my number one thing to thank. And then I'm also going to thank, and this isn't said enough, all the dealers who work out there, because, there's a lot of them working tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing about, one of the dealers like that on holidays. Yeah.
One of the dealers who's actually my patient, she was in the other day and we were talking about it. And she said, well, it's a Thursday. That's my normal day to work. Mm-hmm. If it's your normal day, you have to work.
Yeah.
Christmas falls on a day, it's your normal 4th of July, whatever the holiday is.
Sure.
If it's their normal day, they have to work. And, thanks to them, because, that allows you to, eat all the stuffing you want, watch football, and then go to the casino that night.
That's right. That's right.
And it's amazing that they do that. And I really appreciate that,
Very good
that
point,
they're
Dr.
out there
Mike.
working.
Yeah, good.
And other than that, thanks for all the people who call in.
Yep.
We're very thankful of that. We're very lucky that we have that. Yep. Thanks for all the people we've met.
Yeah. Well, thanks to people who listen and don't correspond with us.
Right.
Just people who just like listening to the show. We appreciate you too.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
very much so.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But, all the people we've met, they've all been good. When we started this, I would have bet you money that we were eventually going to meet some like wacko.
Who's come in he's got some scheme or he's just.
Or just something, right? And we haven't. That has not happened.
No,
we've all met all good people.
So far. Okay, knock on wood.
Knock on wood. This will be the week.
Yeah.
But so thanks to all those people. And who else do we need to thank?
Well, I just want to say thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Good night.